August 6, 1945. A quiet morning in Japan. Children walking to school, families starting their day, and then, in a single flash, an entire city vanished. This was not just a bomb, this was the moment humanity changed forever. To understand this moment, we go back to World War II. The world was at war, nations were collapsing, millions were dying. The United States wasn't targeting Japan randomly. It was already at war with Japan after the shocking attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. After that day, America officially entered World War II, fighting against Japan and its allies. By 1945, Japan was one of the last Axis powers still refusing to surrender, even as defeat became inevitable. And the war in the Pacific had become extremely deadly. Meanwhile, the United States feared something even worse. What if Nazi Germany built a weapon so powerful it could end the war in an instant? So in secret, they began building one first. It was called the Manhattan Project, a top-secret mission involving thousands of scientists. Among them was J. Robert Oppenheimer, the man who would later say, "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." After years of research, they succeeded. Humanity had created the atomic bomb. By 1945, Germany had surrendered, but Japan kept fighting. The US President, Harry S. Truman, faced a choice: invade Japan, risking hundreds of thousands of lives, or use this new devastating weapon. The goal was simple: end the war as quickly as possible. The decision was made. August 6, 1945, an American B-29 bomber named Enola Gay flew over the city of Hiroshima. At 8:15 a.m., the bomb was released. Its name, Little Boy. Seconds later, a blinding flash. A fireball hotter than the sun, buildings vaporized instantly, tens of thousands of people gone in a moment. Those who survived faced burns, radiation, and a city reduced to ashes. Just 1 kilometer away, 2 children survived the blast. Aiko was 9, her brother just 7. They stepped outside into black rain falling from the sky. Days later, their hair began to fall, their bodies slowly breaking, and their nightmare was only beginning. 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, the world wasn't ready, but history repeated itself. The original target was not Nagasaki. Due to heavy clouds, the bomber changed course mid-flight. At 11:02 a.m., the second atomic bomb was dropped. Its name, Fat Man. More powerful, more destructive. Within seconds, a massive explosion tore through the valley. But Nagasaki's geography, surrounded by hills, slightly contained the blast. Even then, tens of thousands were killed instantly. Factories, homes, schools, all were gone. People who survived the first few seconds now faced something invisible: radiation. Burns that wouldn't heal, illness that doctors didn't yet understand. And just like Hiroshima, the suffering didn't end that day. It had only begun. After Nagasaki, Japan stood at the edge of total destruction. 2 cities erased, and the threat of more attacks was real. Behind closed doors, Japan's leaders were divided. Some wanted to keep fighting, others knew it was over. Then, for the first time in history, the voice of the Emperor Hirohito was broadcast to the nation. He spoke not of defeat, but of survival. On August 15, 1945, Japan surrendered. For millions, the war had finally ended, but for many survivors, a different battle was just beginning. The consequences of the war, the immediate destruction was only the beginning. Radiation spread silently. People who survived the blast began to fall sick days, weeks, even years later. Thousands suffered from burns, cancers, and long term illness. These survivors became known as the Hibakusha, living reminders of nuclear war. The world was shocked. For the first time, humanity saw what nuclear weapons could truly do. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki didn't just end a war, they changed the future of humanity. The world had entered the nuclear age, a time where a single weapon could destroy an entire city in seconds. Soon after, powerful nations began racing to build even bigger, deadlier bombs. This tension led to the Cold War, a decades-long standoff between global superpowers. At any moment, one wrong move could have triggered a nuclear war far worse than Hiroshima or Nagasaki. People lived in fear. Schools practiced nuclear drills. Entire generations grew up under the shadow of total destruction. And even today, thousands of nuclear weapons still exist. The danger never fully disappeared, which is why these events are not just history, they are a warning. But today, those cities tell a different story. Hiroshima is alive again, modern, peaceful, rebuilt from the ashes. At its heart stands the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, a place dedicated to remembering the victims and promoting peace. Nagasaki too has rebuilt, a symbol of resilience and strength. Every year, people gather not to relive the past, but to ensure that it never happens again. The atomic bombings of Japan were not just events in history, they were a warning, a reminder of what humanity is capable of, both in destruction and in rebuilding. The question is, have we truly learned from it? Do let me know in the comments what you think of this. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.